Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Break It Dawn. Let's blow down this door. Or blow it up. Doesn't matter the direction because it's going to get blown. And we leveled up. Alright, for my main character, a level 3 officer gets his next keystone feature, Bring It Down. The officer immediately grants an ally an extra turn with action points equal to 2 and no movement points. If the ally is under the effect of Voice of Command and kills an enemy before the end of the officer's turn, the ally gains a one-time additional bonus to momentum. Then Abelard, a level 3 warrior, gets Endure. Until the warrior's next turn, all incoming damage is reduced by his toughness bonus, and the warrior gains his toughness bonus and temporary wounds. And Idira, a level 3 operative, gets Exposed Weakness. The operative removes all exploits from the target to decrease the target's dodge, parry, and armor by a percentage until the start of the operative's next turn. And Argenta, a level 3 soldier, gets Revel in Slaughter. The soldier immediately removes the winded effect. Until the end of combat, the soldier gains the following bonuses: plus 10 to ballistic skill, a % bonus to critical damage, and a % bonus to critical hit chance. This ability becomes available after the soldier kills 3 enemies. The kill counter is not reset between rounds. Awesome. We have a few more options in combat now, which is always a great thing. I'm going to go this way because all the soldiers ran off in that direction. A fallen steel has blocked the path to the lifts. You have to look for another way to Edelthrad. Also, we have a few medikits available.
A soldier would have been disciplined for such a performance. Who thought that was a good idea?
Never doubt me.
Eventually I was going to get in. Took a few tries. We got a deck officer's helmet. Grants plus 5% armor. There we go. Starting to look like a proper Imperial Guardsman. All we're missing is a last rifle with a bayonet affixed. The benches, and even the cogitator, torn from its proper place, are stacked in a rough semblance of a barricade. Got ourselves a multi-key. I cough. I can't see. What is this? They shoot us with something? I can't see a thing. The roar of the flames rings in your ears, and the choking smoke makes you cough and gasp for air. You instinctively recoil from the scorching heat, wiping your face. A moment later, a hazy silhouette forms in the raging wall of fire. You're surrounded by ear-splitting noise and screaming, yet you distinctly hear the sound of footsteps. And then you see the figure walk out of the fire toward you. It is Theodora von Valancius. Her expression is calm, terrifyingly so for someone whose body is engulfed in an inferno. One of her hands is resting on the hilt of her power sword. The other is raised in an inviting gesture. You lost, my heir. Argenta goes as still as a statue, then slowly raises her weapon. An apparition. A sorceress apparition. Trickery of the warp. Sister, you will lower your weapon. Despite his commanding tone, Abelard does not sound too confident. He is staring at the rogue trader, and you notice a muscle in his cheek twitching. Threatening the Lord Captain is outrageous. How did you get here? I'm a rogue trader, Donald. I am wherever my will demands me to be. Excuse me. Would you prefer to be elsewhere at this time? Indubitably. But are you ready? Theodora watches you without blinking. Her snake-like gaze almost makes you forget about the fire searing you, leaving burns on your skin. I can lead you out of these flames, Donald. Show you a path, rid you of pain, and give you weapons so that you may defeat your enemies. Decide. And this is definitely a chaos entity trying to tempt us. Your mouth begins to salivate. Each word Theodora speaks is like music to your ears. The entity that now dwells in the deepest recesses of your mind is pleading, begging, demanding. You give her an immediate answer. That answer can be nothing other than acceptance. Do not listen to this abomination. Donald, if there's naught but his light in your heart. You are resolute in your faith. Then step into the flames. The Emperor protects. His faithful will not be deterred by either darkness or deceitful promises. Nor will the fire burn those who carry the torch of faith in their soul. To the void with you. We need to follow Lady Theodora before we suffocate in this furnace. The people. Abelard looks back at the coughing and confused people around you. Donald, the survivors from the middle decks. You must help the crew. Lead them out. Find a way around. Over the roaring flames, you hear distant sounds. Frightened voices, screams, muffled and distorted, as if there were a body of water between you and them. Though we'll miss our chance to meet up with Edda, Idira breaks off and starts coughing violently. Her knees buckle, and she looks like she is about to fall. Donald, what are we waiting for? Alright, so we can start down one of these three paths. It is my understanding that each one of these paths gives each playthrough a very distinct experience. I think for a commissar, you could make an argument for either dogmatic or heretical. I do plan on going dogmatic this playthrough, and I have ideas for these other two as well. So, yeah, let's go dogmatic here. Walk through the fire. The Emperor will guide the righteous on their path. Thousands of needles pierce your consciousness, but are powerless to stop you. You take a step forward, and the illusion breaks. That was a little loud. A wave of excruciating pain crashes over you, and Theodora's voice fades into the firestorm. You hear the voices of your companions calling you from behind, and the screams of the weak dying in the inescapable blaze. Oh gosh. I didn't expect them to explode when they ran into the fire. The blinding inferno, the harrowing pyre, the all-consuming storm releases you as you step out, barely able to stay on your feet. The blood is pounding in your ears, drowning out the world around you. Your eyes, caked in soot and burnt eyelashes, refuse to open. Free from the flames, you take 2 more steps before collapsing to your knees. The rush of blood in your temples and the horrible pain all over your scorched body cloud your mind, before suddenly retreating, as if driven away by some mighty will. A new strength spreads throughout your veins, and despite the wounds, your body is once more ready for trials and struggle. You open your eyes and see, aglow with warm light before you, the Aquila, the sacred symbol of the Imperium. So the Aquila is the double-headed eagle that you see plastered well, actually, you see it right here. That's the Aquila. And you often see characters put their hands in front of their chest, overlapped, almost like a butterfly shape. That's a sign of the Aquila. In the next moment, you're struck with another realization. The repulsive presence, the one that has plagued your mind since Voidfare wounded you, is gone. The fire seems to have burned the entity away without a trace. Well, flames do purify. Also, I wonder if we had taken the heretical route, if the thing that was in our head would become a demon that would grow with us as we played through the game and became more heretical. That'd be cool.
Master, can you hear me? Oh, you're alive. Which is more than I was expecting after what you just did.
A familiar voice cuts through the din and the pounding. Seneschal Abelard Worsarian is leaning over you, peering into your face with a look of worry. He notices your gaze and breathes a sigh of relief.
Praise the Emperor. We passed through the flames. How can this be anything but a portent? For so it is said that the Emperor will bless the worthiest and most steadfast in their faith.
Argenta kneels next to you. For the first time, you see her eyes radiate pure, unclouded joy. Behind Argenta, you see Idira Tlass doubled over in a fit of nausea. The rest of the people who are following you have withered away in the fire that continues to rage mere 2 steps away from you. The Emperor protects Seneschal.
Indeed he does. Huh, if I hadn't seen it myself, I never would have believed.
Your tone renders Abelard motionless, and he quickly makes the holy sign of the Aquila himself.
What happened to Lady Theodora? Did she follow us?
Idira wipes her mouth and rasps.
There was no Theodora, witch. There was an illusion, a temptation, a foul taint that tried to lead us astray. But he perceived its true nature.
Argenta is staring straight ahead, and crosses her arms over her chest with reverence.
Is that right, Adepta Sanctimonious? What, we'll just pretend like we didn't see the Lord Captain standing there in the fire? Abelard, you tell her.
Whatever it was, it matters no longer. Your conduct is bordering on madness, or holiness. A path opened behind you, where one moment there was fire, the next only smoldering embers remain. But what am I saying? My eyes must have deceived me. Too much smoke for my lungs. Truly, would you have received wounds like these if there had been no fire?
Abelard sighs.
The wounds are merely a sign of a trial laudably passed. It is something to be proud of, the same as decorations or badges of honor.
Argenta herself sounds proud, even fervid. Rise and stand tall. No element holds power over the righteous. Even if you are anticipating another wave of pain, it does not come. Your muscles feel strong, and your limbs obey you without fail. And yet, deep inside, somewhere next to your heart and stomach, feel a certain tension akin to that of a taut string. You're at your limit. Be it adrenaline or the strength of your faith, it will not carry you much farther. Edelthrad. Edelthrad von Valancius stares at you without trying to hide his astonishment and trepidation. Donald, do my eyes deceive me? I could swear that I just witnessed you step out of a pillar of fire, with the rest following in your wake. I loathe being late for an engagement. Nothing good ever comes of such rashness, yet it appears that the Emperor favors you. Edelthrad examines you once more. Be that as it may, your wounds are highly worrying. Look closely at Edelthrad. Edelthrad does not seem to have changed since you first met, but only at first glance. His face has taken on a strange hue. The skin at his temples appears scaled, and his voice now has an uncanny screeching quality. These are not traces of fatigue and stress. The Psyker's body has begun to mutate, a consequence of contact with the warp. You're not in the best shape yourself, Edelthrad. The Psyker grins back at you. Notice the signs of my blessing, have you, Donald? Yes, the warp is taking its toll, but I'm still sane and able to hold my weapon. I'll fight for the von Valancius bloodline to the end. If the price is the eternal curse of mutation, so be it. Now, despite going dogmatic, I'm not going to be a zealot. There'll be a lot of pragmatism as well. My faith will keep me upright with a weapon in my hand. That is all that matters. Edelthrad holds up his hand in a placating gesture. Pray, forgive my insistence. I shall not be the one to doubt the faith of he who has passed the trial by fire. I have gathered everyone who answered the Vox call was able to hold a weapon. Yet I do not see the Lord Captain or her arch-militant in our midst. We're still receiving messages in her voice, but she's not responding to direct requests. I last saw Lady Theodora on the observation platform. When did you and she part ways? It was at this very elevator, Master Edelthrad. The Lord Captain, accompanied by the Arch-Militant, headed to her chambers to retrieve an item of a particular import. After that, all we heard from her were Vox broadcasts. This is troubling. The timing is inopportune. I'm still receiving fragmentary reports from the bridge. Conrad Voigtveer was spotted there, and even what scan intelligence in his activities I have reminds me of descriptions of sorcerous rituals. If that traitor has resorted to witchcraft, we must stop him at once. I shall go to Theodora's chambers to find her. Edelthrad nods. A reasonable approach. Take your escort with you. You may be waylaid. Once you have found the Lord Captain, you must beg her to go to the bridge and lead the counterattack. The rogue trader's appearance is sure to fill the defender's heart with hope, however frightened or exhausted they may be. So next we meet, Donald. May the Emperor bless your deeds. I shall see you on the field of battle. Edelthrad salutes you with his weapon and turns to his retinue. So I wonder if I had decided to go to the bridge first.
I always have a backup plan.
That would skip us ahead. Same description as we saw with a generator
Rise
before.
to the top or get left in the dust.
Because saying we were ready for the assault on the bridge made it sound like that was the final confrontation. A massive podium rises above the gap in the main temple. A bold architectural decision that could turn into a disaster with a well-placed shot.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I wonder if that's foreshadowing.
Keep your wits about you.
This clearly does not serve as a stateroom. The generators, machines, and crude wall paneling indicate that it is a maintenance module room rather than an area for receiving guests. Flex Mechanics Goggles grants +3 logic. Plasma conduits blaze with energy, capable of powering a vast void ship. Also, who is my... logic character? I guess no one in particular.
Is there money to be made?
I'm pretty sure I explored everything. Lord Captain's quarters. She doesn't deal with nickels and dimes. That looks like the Arch-Militant. Okay, cool. So the convictions also determine what equipment you can equip.
I always have a backup plan.
This is quite the chamber.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. Let us not dawdle.
A bizarre fragment hung on a trophy board. The light, smooth surface of the object is dotted with dark spots and crumbling holes.
Always keep your eye on the prize. Keep your wits about you.
Aw, no Melta. Hi. Helmet of the Devoted Protector requires a dogmatic follower. This helmet grants its wearer immunity to enemy critical hits for the first 3 rounds of combat. Seems pretty good to me. Am I a follower? I am a follower. Awesome. Well, in that case...
Is there money to be made?
The parlor organ seems to have been sitting idle for many years. Theodora's Rosary. The wearer of this amulet gains a +10 bonus to Commerce and Lore Imperium. I give that to my main character. Lore Imperium is one of his... Well, as tied with all the other lores, but still. No reason not to. Rogue Trader's Cloak. Grants +5 fellowship for each enemy in a 2-cell radius. That is perfect for my main character. Because he'll be leading from the... Oh, it's not red. A little disappointing. I mean, the blue, I think, matches the flak a little better, but...
I always keep my options open.
I was looking forward to the red. Yeah, that cape's really good for my main character because he's leading from the front, so he'll often be surrounded by enemies and also get the fellowship bonus because most of his skills scale with fellowship. Theodora von Valancius' body is sprawled on a large, blood-drenched desk. The Archmilitant's corpse, still clutching a weapon, is slumped against one of the bulkheads.
Emperor, accept thy faithful souls.
The Sister of Battle surveys the scene, her gaze lingering on the Archmilitant's body.
No! Lord Captain, I didn't hear a thing. Not a whisper, not a breath. It was so loud. Why didn't I foresee this?
Idira's heartrending scream shakes the walls. She collapses to her knees, her body shuddering as she weeps.
Lord Captain, who would even dare? Unless that rat, Voidsphere.
Abelard, stunned, takes a few steps forward and leans heavily on the edge of the desk. His eyes are locked on Theodora's body. I doubt it. Voidsphere wished humiliation and suffering upon Theodora, not a swift death.
It could have happened in the heat of battle. Not to mention that Mort was here, and he would have protected Lady Theodora to the last. How could Mort have failed her so terribly? The Archmilitant was born on a death world. He had lightning-fast reflexes.
I can look at things in my own way. If you find something that might bear the imprint of the killer, just give it to me, and I'll try to see what secrets it holds.
Idira sobs and gets up. She glances around, looking lost. Examine Theodora's body. You lean closer to the body, The cause of death is apparent. What ended the rogue trader's life was an auto pistol shot, an extraordinarily accurate one at that. Theodora's face bears an expression of surprise, the last emotion she experienced in life. Something on the floor catches your eye, a heap of blood-splattered parchments and scrolls that must have fallen off the desk. As you lean down for a closer look, you notice something else. Small shards of glass scattered on the floor. Inspect the shards by the desk. It is difficult to say what exactly was broken. The object fell on the floor, and that is as much as you can ascertain. Upon closer examination, the shards appear iridescent rather than completely transparent, as if they had been submerged in promethium. Idira, what do these shards tell you?
I see streaks of color, luminescence, blue lights, faces drawing closer. Lady Theodora and Conrad and what is that? Ah! Something dark, enormous. Oh, this glass thing was something foul, that's for sure.
Idira scoops up a handful of shards and clenches them in her fist with such strength that blood starts dripping on the floor. She shakes her hand, looking frightened.
Tainted witchcraft.
You cannot tell if Argenta's remark is directed at the glass shards or Idira herself. Inspect the papers. Reports, accounts, dispatches. You go over the scrolls until you stumble upon a document that is starkly different from the rest. It is a handwritten letter signed with the initials XC, and a seal with a symbol that is vaguely familiar to you. And sends a shiver down your spine. The author of this letter addressed to Theodora von Valancius signed it with the seal of one of the Holy Ordos of the Emperor's Inquisition, the secret police of the Imperium that relentlessly hunts heretics, xenos, and other enemies of humanity. Idira, would you try touching Theodora? You might be able to see the killer through her eyes.
It doesn't work like that. I can try to read the memories of objects, but dead bodies are a different story. Something like that would require her soul. And after what we saw on the officer's deck, I won't risk searching for it in a warp.
Idira's whole body shudders. So, Inquisitors don't necessarily have jurisdiction over rogue traders, but that won't stop them from trying. Examine the Arch Militant's body. An auto pistol shot went straight through Mort's forehead, spraying the floor and the furniture around with blood, brain matter, and shards of his skull. The safety in the Arch Militant's weapon is off. The killer must have been a split second quicker than he. We'd best be on our way.
Yes, the crucible of battle calls to me once more.
No, wait! We must see if we can find anything.
Idira, you can't bring her back. Let her go.
Abelard lays a hand on her shoulder.
You'd give up so easily, old man? I expected as much from the sister. It's not like she has a heart. But you? Oh no. I'll get to the bottom of this. I'll find the one responsible for murdering the Lord Captain. And when I do, that scum will regret the day they were born.
Idira clenches her fists. The murder scene looks like something caught the victims by surprise. No one had time to react to what was happening. We found a handwritten letter with a seal. Esteemed Theodora, a change in circumstances has demanded your immediate assistance in our mutual cause. Forthwith upon receiving this letter and performing the necessary preparations of the crew, you are to depart for the Owlcat system. One of my agents, Interrogator Heinrich von Valancius, operates there at the present time. Upon your arrival in the system, you will, without delay, make contact with him and offer any assistance required of you. after which you'll provide him passage to the Firabundus system aboard your ship. On footfall, the interrogator will remove himself from your presence to await further instructions. Anticipating any questions you may have, I will stress that the nature of Interrogator Van Calix's, I almost said Valancius, activities on Rykad Minoris is of no concern to you. If required, Van Calix, I keep trying to mix up Calix and Valancius, himself will disclose the details of his mission. May the Emperor's light be with you. XC. Alright, so it looks like they weren't trying to pull authority on the rogue trader. They're working with her. Interesting. Okay.
Let us not dawdle.
Was not expecting combat. Oh, combat servitor. Great. I'll put Abelard up front. The main character will also be up here with him. Here in Argenta buying cover like so, and start the battle. Alright, light and medium armor. Armor protects the character from incoming damage. Light and medium armor types are both available to you at the moment. The armor stat indicates what percentage of incoming damage from an enemy attack it can absorb. The type of armor also influences the chances that the character wearing it will pass a dodge test. The higher the dodge penalty, the lower the chance to dodge an enemy attack. A character in light armor dodges attacks more often, but takes more damage when hit. Medium armor absorbs more damage if the character is hit, but reduces their mobility and ability to dodge attacks. Some talents allow characters to use different types of armor more effectively.
It will be done. Indeed.
Alright, so we use voice of command on Argenta, I believe.
It's as good as done.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Running gun so she can move forward and get another shot off.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone!
With that hit. I'm trying to ramp up her kill count. Momentum doesn't matter yet because we don't have our heroic axe.
Don't let your guard down.
Let's mark this guy.
You should have thought twice before crossing me.
I'll do it.
Now she's out of things to do. Okay. She can hit all 3, so let's go with that.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Was that you? What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Oh, I didn't see it arc into Abelard. That's okay. I'm guessing he's going to attack Abelard because he's standing right beside him. So I'm going to put that buff on Abelard and hope for the best.
Grey hair, sure hand.
Fate shields me.
It will be done.
Alright, let's go ahead and buff up Abelard, give him another turn.
If not me.
At your beck and...
And smack this
I'll
guy.
see to it.
Doubt is for the weak.
On it.
And we'll level it up again. Great. More swords. Grace of the Oblivious. Whoever gains +5 toughness if their intelligence is less than 35. Blessed is the mind too small for doubt. Hey! Abelard's a dummy. There you go, buddy. Alright, I'm going to call it here, and next time we'll level up and go to the Void Ship Bridge. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.